Hello, my name is Sarah, and today I am coming to you live through. I'm just kidding. But I am recording in my car because I don't give a fuck. Um, I do give a fuck, but what I mean is, sometimes you gotta record in your car. Um, and today I wanted to talk about accountability, because I feel like it's something really important and it needs to be discussed. It's something that I constantly come back to. It's something I constantly come back to because I'm having to hold myself accountable for a lot of things that aren't happening. I think it's really important to understand that when you have these huge dreams and when you have these huge goals and you want to accomplish things, there is a certain level of um, honesty you have to have with yourself when it comes to those things. And that also includes like holding yourself accountable for what you're not doing to progress towards those goals. So, it's just like I have huge things that I want to accomplish. I have these huge dreams, and I have to understand that I have to put myself in an environment in which those dreams can actually be accomplished. And I have faith, like I'm a super spiritual person, so like I believe that it's going to happen. I have a knowing that it's going to happen. But I also understand that with manifestation, you have to meet the blessings halfway. You have to do the groundwork for those blessings to come into your life. You have to hold yourself accountable for the goals that you want to accomplish. You have to, set reminders. You have to do plant the seeds. You have to till the soil. You have to water the ground, for a plant to flourish type thing. And so, lately I've been like feeling this deeply because I'm just like, you know, there are things that I still need to hold myself, accountable for further and actually follow through on things. For example, not waiting until I have the perfect moment to record a video. I'm just going to record a video even if it's not the best, because sometimes I have this perfectionist mindset where I'm like, it has to be the right place, I have to be wearing the right thing, I have to be, I have to have these key ingredients, and it's like, no, you really don't. You just have to be consistent with your goals and consistent with your dreams. And once you're consistent with it, then, you know, consistency will bring results. So I know I'm kind of just like, I feel like I'm kind of just rambling at this point, but that's alright because that's just the type of person I am. I will grow with each, moment that I take on something uncomfortable. And that's really it. Is there's a lot of things that are really uncomfortable, like having boundaries with people, or saying yes to opportunities that may make you feel like a certain way about it or uncomfortable. Things that often make you uncomfortable, except for like obviously circumstance. Like, I mean, obviously in certain circumstances, somebody making you uncomfortable, that's like, that's a different thing. But when it comes to like new experiences, and in your heart it's something that you actually want, you just don't know if you can do it yet, you know then that's something that you need to take on and open your arms to, because that's the blessing that's coming your way, that's helping you on your path. And so I find myself doing the same thing or something where, I ask for all these blessings, and then once I get them, I'm like, oh, well, what if I'm not good enough? Intrusive thoughts or things that are like, belittling to my personal power, you know. And that's kind of related to accountability too, because it's like holding yourself, like knowing that you have the strength and knowing you have the power to actually take on the things that you want to do, knowing that you have the strength and the power to do those things. You're just deciding not to because you're putting this image of being weak on yourself because it's easier to stay in your comfort zone, you know. And I'm not talking about like actual disabilities. I'm talking about like mental barriers that you aren't recognizing and breaking down. And when I say you, I mean myself as well, you know. I'm not trying to just like be like you and point fingers, but I feel like we all can recognize that life is a constant journey of growing, and recognize that even if we think we know so much, there's always more. There's always more, you know. It's endless. There's endless experiences on this planet, you know. And yeah. And I feel like also, I mean, to be honest, this is gonna sidetrack a little bit into like the state of the world. So if you don't like it, click off now, please. But you know, like, I feel like it's also really important to hold our community accountable when it comes to like communal goals, you know what I mean? Like I know this, whatever, however this comes off, like I know what I mean. So, you know, if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. If you don't, you don't, you know what I mean? But just with everything that's going on with the people being oppressed and in the systematic ways they're being oppressed in both this country, the US, and around the world by, you know, global powers, you know, that's where we need to hold our community accountable, because obviously it's like we can boycott stuff that's holding our community accountable, but also recognizing like this system isn't working for all of us. You know, there's certain categories of people who benefit from the system or just don't give a fuck enough to see how it's also, you know, constraining who they can be in certain ways. And I feel like that's really important for us to all be able to actually live in a community where we can be fulfilled and happy. You know, in order for us to all be able to live in a community where we can be fulfilled and happy, there needs to be an accountability for what is not working and what is harming a majority of the people. And not just turn a blind eye to something that may not be directly impacting us. Even though it is, in ways that people may not see, it is directly impacting people, you know. And this sounds really ignorant because I'm not able to go into specifics in this format, but if you know, you know. So look up history facts, look up how this country came into existence. If you don't fucking know, I'm surprised, but do the work, you know. That's holding yourself accountable, doing the work, learning more about the reality of the earth you live on, and fucking, you know, taking actions to change that. Because at the end of the day, we can be happy by just following like the success, you know, ladder of corporate standards or whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're wasting so much of your life to get this stability that is always at the expense of somebody else. You know what I mean? Especially if you're living in the US, it's at the expense of basically everyone else. Even having this phone is at the expense of people. You know what I mean? So really, it's like that's the type of accountability that needs to be taken on, and knowing that we have the strength to do that is so important. You know, if you take the time to build systems in your life where you have where you're able to build the capacity basically to, you know, address those things within yourself. If you meditate and you clear your mind of the clutter and all the like shit that doesn't fucking matter, then you will actually have the space to look at things in the face and identify what they are and the way in which they impact everyone and the way in which this earth needs to be taken care of and needs to be cared for in the way that it cares for us. Because this earth does so fucking much for us. And right now we're just fucking acting like dumb fucks. And it's really fucking annoying. Yeah. And I know this is not really like, this is like all over the place, but I just need to get it out because I'm sick of bringing up global issues in my community with people that I think are cool, you know, like, or not people, like my family members, you know, even sometimes it's like, why do you have to ruin the mood, Sarah? Why do you have to do this, Sarah? And I'm like, these things need to be talked about. And if you can't talk about it now, when are you going to be able to talk about it? Because if it's a natural point of bringing something up, of like, oh yeah, and this also relates to all these global issues that are fucking happening and need to be talked about. You know, it's just like, I hate the idea that within certain spaces, things need to be hush-hush. Like, you can't talk about things, like, straight up. You know, I hate not being able to talk about things straight up with certain people. I'm like, this is fucking important. And this is what I feel like we should all be focusing on because we only have so much time on this earth. And if I want to have a family, I need to fix this shit now. Because I don't want to bring a little person into this world when this world is so fucked up. And that's accountability within myself. And that's holding it not my community, because obviously it's mainly not community, it's like fucking corporate, but we inadvertently allow it to happen because we're so focused on like running this fucking rat race, you know, that we can't just stop and like look up. And there's obviously people who are taking on that work and who are stopping and just being like, we can't do this anymore, you know. But it needs to be more of us. It needs to be more of us doing that. And it needs to be on a grander scale, especially when us participating in these systems allows for devastation to happen around the world. So yeah, I'm getting like really worked up, and you know, this is something I'm really passionate about, and I just think that a lot of us, and I'm obviously not speaking to like oppressed people because like mainly oppressed people are doing the work and facing the facts because they have to, you know what I mean? But I just mean like, you know, I think that we need to be more honest with ourselves and face the facts and face the reality of this situation and not just listen to stories that are being fed to us. Listen to the direct experiences of people and understand that that's community, not listening to some like media company that are all owned by the same corporations, not listening to those, listening to the direct experiences of people. Because, yeah, people are biased, but if most of the people are saying that this is their experience, how can, like, that's not a fucking lie, you know what I mean? Like, there's a fucking reason people are saying the shit they're saying, and being willing to hold yourself accountable for how you add to that, you know? And being able to hold yourself accountable for ways in which, you know, you would like to be a better person, instead of just saying, oh yeah, I want to do this work, and then fucking off and, you know, distracting yourself with things that aren't really worth much in the long run, you know? Like, yeah. I think I'm gonna stop there because I feel like I don't know if this is really coming out like in a line like, and if this is gonna be like understood at all, but you know, I feel like the people who know, and whoever it's meant to reach, it's meant to reach, and that's whatever, that's just how it is, you know. But I feel like it's really important to talk about these things, and I'll probably continue to come on here and make videos about the same fucking thing in a different way, because it's all connected to the same, it's all connected to the same path, you know. It's all connected to how we can all be better people. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not saying chase after perfection, but I am saying chase after a better future for yourself and others. Pursue a better community where we can actually communicate clearly with one another, and create spaces for vulnerability, and create spaces for community care, and create spaces for growth, and create spaces for abundance. Because right now there's like not any spaces for actual communal abundance, you know, like on a very large scale. And I'm saying, like, obviously there are people who have done the work and have created spaces, and there's all these like spaces, little spaces that talk to each other, but like, I would say mainstream society is not even like really aware of these like little communities that are happening. And you know, sometimes I'll talk about these little things that are happening in these spaces people created, and people would just be like, what are you talking about? You know, that's not celebrities, that's not, you know, my capitalistic goals. And I'm not trying to be like a dick, but it's like self-love, fucking community love, those are the things that fucking matter. I'm not, like, I don't care. Obviously this is my opinion, but like, I don't care about a fucking celebrity. I understand they're a person, but they are living their fucking life, and what does that have to do with me? You know, celebrity, yeah, I guess they're fucking cool. I like the artists. I respect the hell out of the artists because they've put themselves on a pedestal, or not pedestal, but they've accomplished a lot, and that's why they're in that position, is because they've done a lot of fucking work most of the time, and they're really amazing artists. So I respect those artists, and I'm obviously a fan of those artists, but I'm also like, at the end of the day, that version of celebrities, they're still people, you know? Like, don't put people on a fucking pedestal. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked, but I think that like putting other people on such a high pedestal is just a distraction from your own life and the things that you, if you have goals, you know, like the things that you want to accomplish, you know, like, yeah, it's cool to have a role model, but people are still people no matter how much status they have. So yeah, that's just that. At the end of the day, I'm rambling, so I'm gonna stop before I get to like 20 minutes of just rambling. But I said what I said, and I meant what I said, and I could have probably said it better, but you know, we live and we learn. So that's that. I hope you have a nice day. Sorry for burping, but whatever. Peace. fashion, Vogue. Yeah, okay, JK. Bye.